the story of a woman, Ronke, the woman who over-pampered her son called Tosho. Ronke stayed 10 years before conceiving him, and she was humiliated on several occasions. So when God finally remembered her with a baby boy, she decided to give him the best and made sure he didn't have any reason to cry. And so Tosho was not just pampered, but over-pampered. Ronke will pick up a fight with anyone who tries to discipline him, including his school teachers. So people avoided her and her son and will pee in their mouths whenever they see him sway. Tosho grew up and became so naughty, disrespectful, and arrogant to everybody, including Ronke, his mother. This made Ronke ashamed and wished she trained her son properly, but then it was too late. Tosho got admitted into the university. He lived a reckless life and above all joined a secret cult group. This made him so wild and he soon got rusticated from the university. Ronke could not bear the shame, so she did everything possible to see that Tosho got admitted into a private Christian university, just so they could introduce Christ to him. But she had forgotten that if the foundation is not well layered, the whole building will collapse. He studied for 2 years in that private university and got rusticated again for the second time. Ronke could not bear it. She developed high blood pressure and didn't listen to the instructions of her doctor. And yes, she passed. Tosho decided to move to Abuja because he has heard that big women reside in Abuja and will fed for any man who will be able to rub their back. He decided to look and talk responsible, as every sane woman would pick a responsible guy over a ras-looking one. He was moved to hang around the park one cool evening, and he saw a slender, beautiful lady called Adebisi sitting all by herself. From a distance, he screened her from her hair, skin, dress, and kicks, and the only thing he saw was an independent woman with the bag. And so, as a bad guy, he didn't need so much rehearsals before words will flow eloquently to convince her. Adebisi was a not-so-young lady and a sickle cell patient. She just came out to think about her life, and then who knows, she might be appealing to someone, as no male has ever approached her for a relationship because of her condition. She worked in a big company and earnestly has secured the bag, but she felt so empty and wanted to experience marriage, as the married ones always will not allow the singles breathe with a lovely duvet. Tosho said, "Hello, beautiful." And Adebisi had never heard this all her life. She's used to, "You look sick. Your eyes are yellow. Your palms are pale. Take enough vegetables and water, and please see a doctor soon." So she didn't respond. Tosho sat close to her and said, "Hello, can I join you please?" "Why not?" Adebisi responded. Tosho said in his mind, "She looks sick, but that's not why I'm here. If she's doing well, then I will hurry up and marry her, because this one doesn't look like who will survive the next 5 years. And I really do not have anything to fall back on, so I will pinch my net here." Adebisi, because of the silence, simply concluded in her mind that Tosho had decided not to go on with the gist or whatever reason that brought him, only to be surprised to hear, "I am Tosho." "Wow, I am Adebisi. You must be a Yoruba. It's so nice to meet my brother in a faraway land." Tosho said, "No wonder my spirit was totally moved to talk to you." They exchanged pleasantries in Yoruba language, and Tosho said to her, "I like you and I want to be your friend." Thank God, there won't be any communication barrier. Adebisi said to him, Thank you so much for wanting to be my friend. Sincerely, that alone has made my day. I have been stigmatized because of my health condition, and no one wants to come close to me, and even the few ones that talk to me have never spoken in love. They keep reminding me that I'm different and can never be like them. Then Tosha said to her, "But nothing is wrong with you. You are perfect, and like every other lady out there, you are ravishingly beautiful, and you are my speck. If only you will allow this friendship to blossom into a romantic relationship, then you will understand what I mean." Adebisi was grateful, and she innocently asked, "So you don't mind getting married to someone with an SS? If things work out between us?" Tosho held her hands and said, "Why not? You are not in any way less of a human. And besides, this is your parents' mistakes and not yours. What I will need you to do is to build up your self-confidence, because it seems it has been tampered. And my dear, you need it in this world where people talk before reasoning. If not, you will be a regular customer of depression, because you will be falling in and out of it." This made Adebisi to love Tosho. Come on now, see punchlines. And nobody had spoken to her the way he did. How I wish she had discerning spirits. Tosho lied he was working somewhere. And this for Adebisi made him 100% husband material. Because, fine, he's an handsome young man. Tall, he has got the height. Good courage, he has got it. Good conversation, uncle. Ojia. In Adebisi's mind, he has the money as well because of where he lied he works with. And to her, she doesn't even deserve such a gift because of her health condition, not knowing that she was the big catch for a failed, over-pampered young man. When Adebisi got home, she was grateful she left the walls of her house, and she couldn't let go in her mind of the good time she had with Tosho in the park. And Tosho was in his own corner, also appreciative that in all his wanderings in Abuja, that his feet carried him to the park, and he vowed to make Adebisi dried before moving to the next available victim. As days grew into weeks and weeks into months, Adebisi began to observe that Tosho lies a lot, because she found out that he wasn't working anywhere and that he hadn't graduated from the university. She was angry, but based on how she looks, she was pessimistic that no one will ever talk to her. So she decided to manage and cope with him. In order not to lose him, she opened up a business for him, though she was very wise to register it in her name. So he started selling smoothies, healthy fruit drinks, shawarma, grilled fish, and the likes. For a period of 6 months, they experienced low sales. So in her condition, she will work 9 to 5 from Mondays to Fridays, and then join him to work on weekends. She wanted to obtain a school weekend form so that he can study weekends and then become a graduate. But something in her restricted her from doing so, and she paused and said, "Let me just give it time, at least for a period of 2 years after our marriage, before proceeding with this one." Their friendship blossomed, and Adebisi looked better because she regained her inner joy and peace. She stopped thinking unnecessarily, and then she started feeding well. The business flourished, and Tosha was the happiest because he had already started changing clothes, kicks, and was spending money on unnecessary things as an over-pampered child that he is. Adebisi saw the way things were going. She simply used wisdom and told him that since the business was doing well and the customers had increased as well, that she needed to employ someone who would be of help in order to relieve him of stress. Tosho didn't buy the idea because he was nursing a dangerous plan. But Adebisi said, if we get married, Tosho said in his mind, they play. Adebisi continued, if we get married, we might decide to take days off. And who knows, we might even travel outside the country. Our business will be shut down. And you know Abuja here, there are lots of competitions. By the time we return, we will meet none of our customers. So, you see why we need to hire someone right now in order for us to know the person well before we get married and start our journeys. Tosho thought to himself and said, for this babe to say we might even travel outside the nation for vacation, meaning she's hiding her wealth, and we only release it in full when we get married. Not be to marry and wear ring. It is not hard though. As long as I get the bag, then anything is a walkover for me. He then turned to Adebisi and said, you are so brilliant, and sincerely, there wouldn't have been a better woman for me. Adebisi blushed, and at the same time she was excited, knowing the reason why she suggested this was to monitor how he spends money recklessly. So she employed her younger sister Titi, that Tosho had never met, and explained everything to her. Tosho didn't suspect they were related because Titi is very healthy, beautiful, and light-skinned. Somehow, the operation of the business was 75% shifted to Titi, and this made Tosho to see the need to talk about marriage. But he was skeptical as this wasn't what he wanted, so he decided to observe for a few months. Titi, who was very smart, began to notice some things about Tosho. He will hide to do some horrible things. She quickly drew her sister's attention to it and said to her, sister, this man is not who you should marry. Remember your condition. You will end up having series of attacks if you eventually become his wife. With what I'm seeing, this man will hit you and hide under the influence of highness. God has been merciful to keep you to this day, and you are doing so well financially, which is so rare. My sister, don't use your hand to fetch infested firewoods. Adebisi said to her, Tosho is very kind and he listens to me. If we get married and he does any of the things you said, I will simply talk to him, just the way I've been talking him into doing some things. And trust me, he will change. He will change, you said, Titi asked. If you haven't observed all these things that I have been saying, meaning he pretends around you. And sister, this will be an everlasting mistake in view. I know you are older than me, but please, the younger ones too are blessed with wisdom. You are the only surviving sister that I have. Don't put me into emotional stress by continuing this relationship with this guy. I sense high voltage danger. Adebisi said to her, it is not that serious. You haven't even known this man for so long, and yet you detest him so well. Just so you know, if he proposes, I will answer an emphatic yes. So make peace in your mind to love him, because he is your soon-to-be in-law. Titi said, Sister Adebisi, this love that has blinded your eyes so, marriage will open it to see the rotten maggots you are about to say yes to. Adebisi said to her, do you know you have just insulted me? Titi apologized and decided to seal her mouth. One day, Titi was attending to one of their customers when Tosho walked into the arena holding hands with someone. She didn't need any prophet to tell her that this was another woman. She ignored and only wished her sister would just meet them. But unfortunately, she won't because she was at work. That same weekend, Tosho proposed to Adebisi when she came to the business premise, and she gladly said yes. Titi didn't congratulate her. She only said to Tosho, "That thing that you have done to my elder sister will soon clear off her eyes, just one day." Tosho was so surprised and he asked, "Elder sister?" "Yes, my elder sister." Tosho became uncomfortable and Titi said to him, "Ease yourself, because I have told her all that you have been doing and she keeps saying you will change. Let me make it clear. If anything happens to her, then be ready to go down with her." The threat didn't hold any water because he only came to Abuja for a purpose, and once achieved, he will move to a bigger city and change everything that he will be tracked with. So he knelt before Adebisi and said, "I am so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I thought you would disappoint me when you shifted the business away from me. I was only casting my eggs in more than one basket. But what your sister, even though I just know she is today, had told me, had just proven that you love me, no cap. I promise I am a changed person. My tent is pitch hair and it is a forever to go baby." Adebisi said, "You have?" And Tosho replied, "Yes, trust me." Adebisi assisted him up and hugged him. Titi stood there and was giving her sister a bombastic side eye and muttered, "If I were to be older than you now, only one hot slap would have reset that your brain." She hissed and carried her bag and closed for the day. After 2 months, Tosho convinced Adebisi and they had their registry wedding in the presence of few people without any family member in attendance. Titi got to know when she saw wedding bangs on their fingers, and she asked her sister respectfully when it happened. Adebisi was sincere on how and where the occasion took place. Titi coughed and said, "This is stronger than what I thought. I may not like your decision, but then again, you have left me with no other option than to support you. I wish you well, and please don't hesitate to speak to me whenever you need me for anything." Adebisi assured her that all is well with her and that Tosho wasn't a bad husband. "Okay, oh, ìyàwó," Titi said. After 1 month, Tosho said to Adebisi, "The vacation you talked about, when are we going?" Adebisi was surprised and said, "Which vacation?" Don't pretend here, oh," Tosho said. "You said so when you wanted to employ your sister. Now we are married. The vacation is supposed to be the next thing." "Oh, that? I was just making an illustration," Adebisi said. "Making an illustration?" Tosho asked. "So you think you are smart? We have to go for that vacation. Otherwise, I will stop you from going to work because it seems the salary you're being paid is shaking your brain." Adebisi saw the argument was becoming intense. She decided to keep quiet in order not to escalate the issue. One day, after a heavy downpour, she had an attack as a result of cold, and she started leaping, and Tosho looked her in her face and said, "I sincerely don't know how I became your husband. How do you expect a handsome young man like me to introduce you to people as my wife with the way you are leaping? Any small rain, you'll be shivering like a fowl under rain for 6 hours. He spat on her face and said, "Weak dodo." Adebisi went into the bathroom and washed her face and kept the faith that he would change. When she received her salary, he ordered her to give all to him, and for 4 nights, he didn't sleep at home. Adebisi began to ask Titi for transport from the salesmaid because she didn't want to touch her savings. Titi was shocked to her bone marrows because this had never happened, and she asked if anything was the matter. Adebisi said nothing was wrong, and that grieved Titi because it was written all over her that something was definitely wrong. So she said there was no money, and Adebisi broke down and said that she doesn't have transport fare to her workplace. Titi said, "You don't have transport fare, Ke? Since when? Or has enough?" Adebisi said, "Give me what I asked for. X, I will send you back to where you came from." Titi clapped and said, "Bravo! Send me back, my dear sister, and that man you are living with will send you to come and meet us, or your creator. I mean it. If you don't tell me what the matter is, I promise that 1 kobo will not enter your hand today. So, are you telling me, or I should mind my business and pretend you're not here?" Adebisi said to her, "Why are you treating me this way?" She thought she would emotionally blackmail Titi with her words. But Titi, who was 100% ready to know what the problem was, wasn't moved at all with her emotional blackmail. She simply said, "It is your money. I won't dispute that. But it is under my care, and I won't give it to you. If not, what happened to your salary will happen to it too. So start talking now, Ebo." Adebisi then said her husband collected all and had not slept in the house since then. "I knew he was the one," Titi said, "and I knew you didn't want to tell me because I warned you. But sister, if you don't tell me, how will I help? Yes, I will react, but because I want you to be alive for me, I will always find a solution. You know how we have struggled to keep you alive till today. Please, I beg of you, sis, don't allow marriage that God didn't send you into to snatch you away from us." If you are, just as Titi was still talking, Adebisi started vomiting. She attended to her and made sure she laid down. She gave her the money and said whenever she receives salary, she should keep 30% and then give her 70% to keep, to avoid the reputation of what she called monkey the walk, bamboo the chop. Adebisi regained herself, thanked her sister, and then left. The next day, she went to work and still vomited. She was taken to her company's hospital, and there it was confirmed that she was pregnant. She was happy knowing that she would soon become a mother. The fuel, I must say, is out of this world. When she got home, luckily, she met her husband at home, and she didn't want anything whatsoever to tamper with her joy. So she ignored the fact that he slept out for nights and said to him, "Welcome home. Hope your journey went well." Tosho didn't say anything, and she said to him, "We are expecting." "Expecting what?" Tosho asked. "Expecting our first child." "You and who?" Tosho questioned. "I am not ready to be a father. My feet are not strong financially. I don't own a car. I don't own a house. Nothing. So go and terminate that thing now that it is early." "Ah, Tosho, you surprise me. How can you even suggest that knowing that I'm a sickle cell carrier? Do you even want me alive or dead?" "Are you living?" Tosho asked. No. Hold on. Let me even ask you. If they say people who are alive should come out, you will join the queue. Adebisi cried. This was the highest she has heard. She became so broken and said, Titi was right after all, but I didn't listen. Now my stubbornness had landed me into big shit. I wished I listened. I wished I listened. While she was still trying to put herself together, Tosho came and said to her, I want to eat jollof rice. I want it very spicy, and please watch your salt. She was left with no option. She undressed and went into the kitchen and prepared the jollof rice. The next day, which was on Friday, Tosho went into the business premise and wanted to siphon money, but Titi said to him, the one you collected from my sister, fine boy. You have finished squandering it. Look at me very well, Lo. I am not Adebisi and I will never be. So let's not create a scene here. Go back home because it is mission aborted even before the very minute you conceived the thoughts. Tosho was boiling and he sat at one corner and said, so this woman had told her sister about the money. So she had the guts to report me. Isn't she supposed to be submissive? As her husband, am I not the owner of the money? I will deal with her, and this her sister will stop working here, or the marriage will end. Just when he was by the corner monologuizing, a pregnant lady entered. Titi recognized her, and the lady was shouting and said to her, so you abandoned me and your responsibilities, pointing to her pregnancy, and you came here sitting alone enjoying your money. Today, I will not live here with nothing less than 1 million naira. Titi heard it and laughed where she was seated and muttered, 1 kobo, you no get to, no be only 1 million. As a fine man, the only thing he can give is his sperm, and he has given it to you liberally. So auntie, shakara don't end. Carry your cross. The lady kept ranting. When she saw that Tosho was not responding, she met Titi and said, hand over all the money in your drawer to me now. Titi asked her and said, as what? Wait. As in, as per who now? The pregnant lady then said, can't you see that I'm pregnant for him? And I'm now his wife? Tosho just stood up and left for the house because he was wondering how he wasn't smart to have impregnated 2 women at the same time. He just said, mess up. Titi said to the lady, I can't say you're sorry. I only know one person that is pregnant for him. The lady wanted to collect the money herself forcefully, and Titi lifted her up and sat her down on the plastic chair behind and said to her, that man is not whomever he has professed himself to be. This business you're seeing belongs to my sister. And my darling, if you care to know, that my sister is his wife and she's also pregnant. If you were in my shoe, will you give your sister's money to someone like you? The lady was quiet and Titi shouted, answer me. And she responded, no. Good, Titi said. So leave here. And I don't want to see you here or anywhere around this premise. Because that day, I promised to feed you with a basin of sand. Just when the lady was about leaving, Titi observed something and said, Auntie, wait oh. She took up the lady's polo, only to discover that she wore fake pregnancy. And Titi had a good laugh and said, oh, Connie man go, Connie man bury. So both of you really fit each other. 2 business people. This Abuja sha. People just do crazy things in order to make money. Not for anything, no. Just to pressurize people and intimidate them. My sister, let me advise you, as somebody who cares, you better remove that thing, no, because you may meet somebody on the way that is good for your business. Who knows? So that this pregnancy will not become a stumbling block. Wayward generation. The lady felt so embarrassed and walked out gently out of the business premise.